All right, hello. Welcome to the stream. Let me get my music going. You won't be able to hear this, but I'm not just gonna have dead air. Um, Welcome to the stream. Uh, Today I have some Magic the Gathering stuff to open. From the Hobbit, I got a scene box, which is basically 6 cards guaranteed, and then there's actually 3 play boosters. And then I got a bundle, which is 9 play boosters and a bunch of nice lands. But actually, before we get started with that, I did go to see a concert on Sunday, and it was very fun. It was very good. I just wanted to show some stuff from that. So I went to City Field on Sunday and saw My Chemical Romance for their 20-year anniversary of Black Parade, and it was amazing. So some of the shots from the actual City Field account. They played the entire album of the Black Parade straight through, pretty much. And then they actually, after like a 30-minute, I don't know how long it was, somewhere between like 15 and 30-minute interlude, they were actually setting up a second stage that was like in the middle of the crowd, essentially. And they played like older song, like stuff from Three Cheers from Revenge, but also stuff from their first album, which I forget what it's called, and also Danger Days stuff. So yeah, it was jam-packed. I was actually a little surprised by, oh, and also this is Franz Ferdinand. Franz Ferdinand opened for them, which is kind of weird, but I enjoyed them. It was pretty good. Yeah, the stadium was, from everything that I've read, it was sold out completely. So the stadium was absolutely jam-packed. And then this is the front of the GA pit. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to like really zoom this in well, but that's me right there. So I'm like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 rows back from like 4 or 5, 6 people, I don't know, from the front. So that was cool. That was great. And I'm like a little bit off to the left. This is a pretty good POV of where I was. And this is actually one of the best parts of the show. At least like the main part of the show. This is, I forget the name of the song, but it's towards the end of the set. It is, what was the song? I forgot the name of the song, but you know what it's based on these lyrics. I'm not gonna play the actual music, but basically they had a whole, like the whole stage was like this like authoritative like Russian jail psych ward kind of thing that they had going on. And hello, Lizzie. And this is towards the end of the set where basically all hell breaks loose and they like destroyed the stage kind of. And there was just pyro, there were sparks flying everywhere. It was really, really cool. It went on, like, this is actually the end of it. You can't hear anything, but I'm not gonna play the music. But there were like, I don't know if I can get to the beginning. I'm just gonna let it loop through. But like all the sparks and stuff flying, that was going for like 15 to 30 seconds during like the breakdown or the bridge, whatever you want to call it, of the song. It was really cool. It was really fun. And all of that is real fire. I would be like right like there-ish. But yeah, this is pretty much what my POV looked like for pretty much the entire concert. Um and then yeah, so it was a really fun concert. Getting home afterwards is not fun, but uh yeah, like with all these sparks flying out of everywhere, all this fire is real. And then at a completely different point in some other song, some guy actually ran across the stage on fire, like legit on fire. It was like a stunt guy running across the stage on fire. So that was cool. And yeah, the set list, like when they went to the B stage kind of for like the encore of other songs that weren't the Black Parade, apparently they played a song from the first album that they've only played like 4 times live. I didn't realize it at the time. A song called Demolition Lovers. Um yeah, that's what I was thinking, Lizzie. It was like there's because like on the there's like 2 big like walls of fire on the left and right, and they're basically just like black cloth that I'm sure were just like treated with something. I don't know. Like I want to zoom out all the way. Like that thing. There was also one on the other side as well. Yeah, it was a very, very good show. Very much worth the exorbitant amount of money I paid for it. Uh, yeah, it was very fun. I'm very glad I went. Um, yeah, so that was my story for My Chemical Romance. But let me get. Should just have to hide this. There we go. Yeah. Ha. I'm a professional. I also have an Oreo milkshake. So if you hear me slurping, that's what that is. Okay. Um, I'm just gonna open the bundle first just to get the box. Um, but then when it comes to actual cards, I'm gonna start with the scene box first. See, I didn't go for any collector boosters. One, because then a whole box would be $700. But also I don't hate Lord of the Rings, but I'm not like a huge fan of it. So I didn't really care to splurge for anything for this set. Oh, the dice for this is actually really cool. I saw it on some other post. It's like black and gold with kind of dwarven runic kind of lettering. I don't know. You can't really see it. Hold on. There we go. A little bit more light. Yeah, it's a cool looking die. All right. Let's set this box aside. Get this thing out of the way. Oh yeah, Lizzie. Yeah, I guess you you deal with a lot of this kind of stuff, don't you? So this is the scene box I got. I got it because there's 2 cards in here in the scene that I'm gonna put in my squirrels food deck, which is actually becoming less and less of squirrels. It's really just a food deck at this point. With this, I guess, like a little squirrel sub theme, I guess. The commander is a squirrel, and she makes squirrels. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not caring to keep this mount intact because I have binders for all my scene box cards. So the mount is going to go away. That's a full picture. I think it splits that way and then that way. Or does it split like that way? I forgot. We'll see. Yeah, there's definitely some good bear support in this set. There's a lot of interesting kindred support in this set. Royal Wings, thank you for the good luck. Like I said, we don't have any collector boosters, but there's still some heat you can pull from the play boosters. Okay. I'm just going to put those play boosters with the rest of the play boosters from the bundle. What is what in here? Okay, these are the art cards. Let's open those first. So yeah, this is Philly and Killy Joyous. This is Gandalf Party Guest. Just like that, I assume, yep. This is Thorin, King of Durn's Folk. This is Bilbo, Fellow Conspirator. I think this is gonna go in the scroll deck. This is Bag End Banquet. This is the other card that's gonna go in my food deck. Just like that. And this is Ori Plate Stacker. Or maybe this is, I forget. One of these two is the other card that's probably going to go in my food deck. We'll find out quickly here. Let me... I feel like I should have another one that's already open. Whatever. I'm just going to sleeve these real quick. Actually, I have to go through because I know the binder that I have with like the scene box cards, I had like the actual play cards in them, but I don't think I have the actual art cards in them. I should go back through and find them and put them in that binder as well. So these are scene cards. And these are the actual play cards. don't remember if these are foil or not. I think they are, right? So if they are foil, these are not Pringled like at all, which is nice. Yeah, they are foiled. So this is Philly and Killy. Dwarf Bard 3/3 haste. Tap to add 2 red. Spend only on dwarf equipment and saga spells. The scene cards I like to give top loaders just for, especially now that I have a binder for it. The binder specifically is like a top loader binder. So, and there's Gandalf, 1 and Jeskai, 4/4 Avatar Wizard. Oh my god. Sorry, that was my phone vibrating against my desk. It scared the shit out of me. 3/4 Avatar Wizard. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, you may cast an instant or sorcery with mana value X or less from your hand without paying this mana cost, where X is twice the number of legendary wizards you control. Some nice wizard kindred. This is Thorin, King of Durin's Folk, 4/4 Dwarf Noble. Whenever Thorin or another dwarf you control enters, create a treasure. Other dwarves you control get +1/+0 for each artifact token you control. Yeah, so there's a lot of dwarf support in this set. Yeah, here's the other card that's going in my food deck. I'm pretty sure it was Bilbo. So Bilbo, fellow conspirator, 2/3 halfling citizen. If you would create a food token, instead create a food token and a treasure token. That will be able to very easily combo off in my food deck. Here's Bag End Banquet. It's a 6-cost artifact. When it enters, I create 3 food tokens, and then you can tap it to add colorless for each food you control. So when you play it, you can immediately tap it for at least 3 colorless. So essentially, it costs, you can almost think of it as it costs 3. Because you pay 6 for it, but you pretty much immediately get 3 mana back. This is the last one, Ori Plate Stacker. 3/3 Dwarf. When he enters, destroy all artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. You gain 1 life for each permanent destroyed this way. It is pay 5 and 2 white, so it is expensive for 3/3, but it's a wipe everyone else's artifacts and enchantments, which is not a bad effect. That's hard to see this scene with the glare there, but it's there. Trust me, it's there. Okay. Well, I gotta get my scanner actually set up. Yes. Ori would mess Iron Man shit up. put Hobbit Eternal in here, but I don't know that I can actually pull any Hobbit Eternal cards and play boosters. All right, so here's the box topper or promo card, whatever you want to call it, and the lands. I don't even know what the promo or the box topper for this is. Misty Mountain Cold Saga for 2 in a red. Has 4 stages, all of them the same. Create a treasure, then if you control 4 or more treasures, sacrifice the saga. If you do, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. Alright. That doesn't have a price on the market. Alright. And then it's just a bunch of foil full art lands. And regular lands. Oh, and the seasonal. Oh, seasonal comes in this one too. Okay. I was not aware of that. Here, let me give you a closer look of all of the full arts. So these are like, I don't know, the journey full arts, maybe you'd call them. I don't know. There's the plains. Oh, sorry, I just smacked my mic. I don't know how loud that was for you. There's the island. I haven't read or watched The Hobbit, so I have no idea what like is going on in any of these pictures at all. So don't ask me. There's the mountain. All these look gorgeous. There's the swamp. And then here's the seasonal hobbit hole. Are these all plains? They are. So this would be like spring, maybe? That would be summer, I guess. Yeah. Come on, scanner. You can do this. I believe in you. It's probably detecting it's like the same card. There's your fall pumpkins. My scanner is not behaving. And then there's your winter. It's like scanning these all as the same version. Hold on. So one of those. It's foil. This one's foil. Also, I have to set these all to foil. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, so spring, summer, fall. I didn't even scan a fourth one. And winter foil. Okay. And then these are just... Oh, because I didn't scan the winter one because I didn't put it in the scanner, you moron. I'm just gonna scan it the second time. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scanned it twice somehow. Phone. Anyway. And yeah, these are all just basic foil lands. Which I have to throw in here. Make sure I turn them all to foil. I know you can't see this, but I'm scanning with my phone, and I don't want something to come up on my phone that I don't want to show on screen, on stream. So, okay. And these are going to be the non-foil lands. Are these going to have seasonal lands as well? So here's your non-foil arts. Non-foil basics. Okay, no non-foil seasonals. Why is it always the swamp? It always has trouble scanning, like in every set. I don't know why it struggles to scan the swamps. Come on. I had it for a second. There you go. Good job. And all these basics have like flavor text. I love when they actually do that. The flavor text on the basics. They did this for this set. I know they did that for the I don't know if they did it for both the D&D and the Baldur's Gate sets or one of them, but they did that for at least one of them. I'm not sure which other sets have done flavor on the basics. Okay, let me go through and sleeve some of these. I think I'm gonna top load the seasonal ones because right now it's showing each of them as like $10 on the market. So I'm going to go ahead and top load those. Like running out of desk room. Because I kind of want to organize these at least a little bit as I'm going. Never mind. I'll do that some other day. Alright, so these don't need sleeves. Pretty much the rest of these now do. Yeah, that's not creepy. They're all sleeping under a tree that has big ass cocoons in it. This is some great mountain art. can't tell what's going on in the swamp picture. I think there's like these are like little like things that they're using as boats, maybe that like capsized or something. I don't know. On the island, they're clearly at some like spire monument kind of thing. And then the plains is just the Shire, obviously. Top sleeve, please. Oh, and so later this week, Dragon Shield is finally releasing their Guild Pact sleeves, which I'm very excited for. They announced them like 6 months ago or something. I think their original release date was like 2 months ago, but they like kept pushing it back. But I think they're finally coming out Friday. Ah, barrels. That makes sense. Yeah, it's hard to see in that picture really what's going on. Yeah. Like I've said, never read it, never seen the movies because I heard that they were bad. So I do not know the plot of The Hobbit whatsoever. All I know is that Bilbo has the ring, I think, or he finds the ring in the movie or in the book movie, whatever. And he goes on an adventure with a bunch of dwarves. That's pretty much all I know about it. And of course, Gollum's there too. So these are the seasonal. These will get top loaders. I did not realize that the regular bundle came with the seasonal lands. I would have figured that these only came with the gift bundle, not the regular bundle. But lucky me, I was wrong. Yeah, and there's Smaug too, who I believe was voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch, right? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I did actually see the first movie. But it was like a while ago. And it was before I had seen like watched fully the extended versions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So I wasn't really sure what was going on. But I think I may have, because I may have seen when they meet Smaug for the first time. So is that in the first movie? My scanner didn't have a price on this card. So I'm gonna top load it for the hell of it, but I doubt it's gonna be worth more than $10, which is generally my threshold for top loaders. or if they're like special cards, like scene cards or like secret layers. I figured out what was going on in my box. I forgot the dice was in there. Alright, here's our play boosters. We got, it was 3 and 9, so 12. We got 12 play boosters. Yeah, okay. Alright. Just get my scanner set back up. Okay. Let's get cracking. So something I'm mainly looking for from this set is any of the human stuff to add to I have an Eowyn deck. That's like humans and tokens and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So we got some Gabos. Here's a human. When you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Not bad. Because with the Eowyn beginning of combat trigger, as long as you have 6 humans or more, you do get to draw a card. Moment of Glory. Sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. The spell is cast from the graveyard with the flashback cost. Put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature. Oh, also put a +1/+1 counter on. So it's basically, if it was cast from the graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on every one. Addercop. I think this is a reprint, right? From Lord of the Rings, I think. Wait, is this a... They have a common Smaug. That's interesting. And a common Golem. Okay. Old Thrush, 1/2 bird. Enters, gain 2 life. You may search for basic. And put it on top. Interesting. Okay. Thorn's Last Stand. Instant buff creatures or destroy target artifact or enchantment and gain 2. Woodland Weave Master. Elf Druid Vigilance. Whenever the elf enters, creature goes +1/+1 until end of turn. Tap to add X mana of any color, where X is the creature's power. Spend this mana to only cast out blah 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 to do elf stuff. Okay. Right. I should also be looking for elves for my elf deck. I forgot about that. So that has a decent chance of ending up in my elf deck. Down to Goblin Town. Saga. 1 target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. They discard it. Amass Goblins 1. The second step. Third and fourth step. Target opponent loses 1 life. You gain 1 life. So just some utility. 4/5 Biffer Melodic Rider. 4/5 Dwarf Bard Storied. When before attacks or enters or attacks with +1/+1 counter on target creature, as long as you have enduring story, an ability of a dwarf you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Okay. Cantankerous Keepers. 4/3 Elf Soldier, affinity for elves, and this creature enters mill 4 cards, and put all elf cards from among them into your hand. Okay, that's 6 mana. It's not the best, but not bad. That is the rare. We got a foil Rage into the Valley, draw a card, lose a life, Mass Goblins 2, and then Forest. Is that? No, it's not. No, it's not foil. Okay, so that gets a sleeve. That gets a sleeve. You get a sleeve. No, no, no. Okay. So basically, if you haven't seen my process before, I basically inner sleeve anything that can be a commander, rares, mythics, foils, then anything over $1. So when I open collector boosters, pretty much everything gets an inner sleeve. And then in Universes Beyond, generally I end up sleeping like half of a play booster because there's so many legendaries in Universes Beyond. Like you could see in that pack, I had 2 legendary commons. Oh, I also do sleeve all my tokens because, to be honest, I don't know why. But it's something I started doing, and I just like to stay consistent. And my axe. I know that's not the Hobbit, but shut up. Another moment of glory. Wood elves. This creature enters, search your library for a forest, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. Oh, it goes on the battlefield untapped. Interesting. Is that a reprint? I feel like that's a reprint. Tidings of War. Sorcery for 1 red. Mass Goblins 1. Goes cast in the graveyard with flashback. Mass Goblins 3 instead. Some dumb goblins. Bilbo Baggins Burglar. Another common. Adventure Scry 2. When he enters, you draw a card. How many different colored Bilbos are there in this set? It's like in the scene box, there's the green one. That was a blue one. I'm pretty sure there's a white one. That was Old Thrush. We saw that already. Yeah, the set also has a lot of good wolf support. Can't be blocked by tokens. When it enters, will have some muscle counter on target creature. Okay. I feel like there's 2 cards in there, actually. Dory. That's not a fish, that's a dwarf. 3/2 trample. When he enters, create a treasure. Bard the Bowman. 1/3 human with reach. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 target +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains lifelink until end of turn. This would be pretty good in AoN. I believe there's another Bard actually that's also very good in AoN. Dwarven Mauler. Equip abilities. That target this creature are 2 less to activate. Cool. Nasty Widow Wabbit. Beginning of return, you control a creature with power 4 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Last Light of Durn's Day. It's an enchantment. Whenever a mountain you control enters, put a quest counter on this enchantment. If it has 6 or more quest counters on it, sack it. If you do, search your hand and or library for a dragon card and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle. That's interesting. Interesting that it says search your hand. That's a line of text I don't think I've ever seen before on a card. But I guess it makes sense. Sorry, my ice maker just scared the ever-living shit out of me. This is a foil common Bjorn. Human bear shapeshifter. And Lake Town. Enters tapped, taps for white or blue. Pay 2 an Azorius and tap and sack. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target human you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Ugh. That was like an alright land until that said activate only as a sorcery. And then I threw up a little bit. Oh, I didn't. I assume none of these like uncommons are good. Oh, okay. God, I don't know what's wrong with this pack of inner sleeves, but they're just they're not separating as easily as they usually do. So that could go into AoN. The one thing that I don't really like about the humans in this set is that they have, or that, I mean, they don't have to, but they use counters. I don't really have any counter synergy in AoN. But it still might be worth putting them in. So a lot of them deal with card draw, and ideally, as long as I have AoN out, I'm drawing an extra card each combat. I think you've played against my AoN deck, right, Lizzie? Gotta imagine you have at this point. You probably played against most of my decks at this point. Yes, it's wagging. And a stone boulder. Vow to Erebor. Instant to untap creature. +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a dwarf, you may attach an equipment you control to it. Another spider. Oin. Oin? I don't know how to pronounce it. Storied, as long as you have an enduring story. On gets +1/+0 and has haste. Pay 1, tap him to discard a card to draw a card. Bilbo's Deadly Slice. Destroy target creature for 3. That's mechanically that's just murder. Uneasy Partings. Pay 4 for an instant. The spell costs 1 less to cast if it targets an attacking non-token creature. Target creature's owner puts it on the choice of the top or bottom of their library. So you just say goodbye to that guy. Here's another Dory. Still not a fish. I've seen this wolf already. Sylvan Reveler. 3/2 elf for 2 and Simic. When this creature enters, draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a land card this way, put it from your graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. Then landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may pay 1 in Simic. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Alright, not bad. There's some Simic landfall going on. 2/2 wolf. Pay 2 life. Creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. I was gonna say this is good for Elijah's Rowan deck, but you can only do this once a turn, so it's not repeatable, unfortunately, but whatever. Human Artificer. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, return. If you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, another target creature you control gets +3/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Another human with some draw synergy. That's good. An Unexpected Party. Enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +2/+2. And then on the adventure side, X2 white, create X 2/2 red dwarf creature tokens. Not bad. That's the rare, I'm assuming. Yes, it is. Oh, I got 2 rares in this pack. Enchantment for 3. When this enchantment enters, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. When a creature card leaves your graveyard, amass goblins 1. And then pay 1 black. Goblins and orcs you control gain minutes until end turn. Alright. Not bad. Fearsome Goblin Pair. When he dies, amass goblins 4. So 1/1 for 3. And then full art map. Yeah, okay, just making sure there's no hidden gems in there. Let's see, sleeve. No. Okay. I mean, Dory is not a dwarf. Dory is definitely a fish, so Can't say I'm wrong on that. Okay. Just trying to grab a bunch of sleeves there, but they just were not coming out. No, once you cast the creature side, you cannot do the adventure spell. Only way you would be able to do that is if, like, I mean, that's not a creature, but say you cast the enchantment, and then someone destroys the enchantment, but then you're able to grab a card from a graveyard and put it into your hand, then you could cast the adventure and then cast the enchantment after the adventure. But yeah, generally, once you cast the card regularly, not as the adventure, you lose access to the adventure. So yeah, generally you lose access to the adventure. And then, as a technicality, just so you're aware, when you cast the adventure first, the card goes into exile. So, like, then it kind of synergizes with stuff like, because there's some synergy with, like, oh, if you've cast a card from anywhere that isn't your hand. So, like, for instance, from exile. So, like, things that you put on adventures would count for that. It's a very niche kind of mechanic to do, but it does happen. Okay, come on. There we go. Yeah, it's similar to a warp from Edge of Eternities. Actually, don't know. Like, what's the difference between warp and adventure? Well, I guess it's different because warp is just the same spell as the actual spell, whereas adventure is like a different spell. Yeah. Like, otherwise, warp is essentially the same. Another human soldier token. The dwarf on the back. Another golem. 4/3 with menace, and then on the adventure, put a +1/+1 counter on up to one target creature. Target player gains 2 life. Mirkwood Mediator, elf 2/4, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may have this creature's base power and toughness become 4/2 until end of turn. Interesting. Esgaroth Garrison. It's human soldier for 5. His power is equal to the number of creatures you control. When this creature enters, recruit. So the recruit mechanic, I'm not sure if I like it. The recruit says, draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. I don't know if I'm gonna like the recruit mechanic in my Iowan deck. I mean, I think it would end up being okay. But, like, once I discard something in the Iowan deck, there's no getting it back. Like, I have no recursion in that deck, so Once I discard something, it's gone forever. 4/4 elf. When it enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. May reveal permanent from among them. Put it in hand. Rest go bottom. And landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature gets +2/+2 until end turn. Hobbit hole. Okay, it's evolving wilds with halfling cycling for 4. So it allows you to go search for a halfling. Interesting. Goblin plate mail. Mass goblins 1. Then attach them into the amassed army. Code creature gets +1/+0 and menace. Equip 4. So I assume... Yeah, so like if you have a goblin army already amassed, this enters, you add a counter to that army, and then you attach this to that army. So it could be strong. Dwarven short sword enters, create a 2/2 dwarf, and it's equip it. And then essentially it becomes a 3/4. Elven King's Harper, Elf Bard 2/2, pay 5, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Okay. Stone by Sunlight. Instant choose 1, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Till end of turn, target creature becomes an artifact in addition to its other types and gains indestructible. It's 2 cost. Fearsome Goblin Pair. This is a guy that dies and amasses goblins 4. Oh, this card. I really like this card. Saga for 3. First one is target creature you control gains hexproof for as long as the saga remains on the battlefield. Second phase, prevent all damage that would be dealt by up to 1 target creature for as long as the saga remains on the battlefield. And then parts 3 and 4 each draw you a card. Desolation of Smaug. Sorcery for 4. Deals 3 damage to each non-dragon. Add 4 mana and any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast dragon spells. And then we got a foil, Dane, Lord of the Iron Hills. 1 in white for a 2/2 dwarf noble with vigilance and storied. As long as you have an enduring story, creatures can't attack you unless they controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. Okay, so it's a baird, essentially. So what is storied again? If you control 3 or more artifacts, legendaries, and or sagas, have an enduring story for the rest of the game. So it's like cities. It's a thematic city's blessing, essentially. That's how that works. Huh. Yeah, that's good. And then another lake town. Okay. Sure, don't forget to scan that. Okay. And oh, no. Whoops. I just jammed one of those cards into the side of the storage box. Come on. I was like, am I doing the right side of the sleeve? Another ox. Iron Hill Stalwart. Dwarf 4 or 5 dwarf reach trample. When it enters a tap target creature when you control up to one target you control. Suited to him or to someone else. Okay. Not too shabby. Another murder. Uneasy Partings. I think this is a reprint from something. Dwarven Provisioner. 2/2 Dwarf. Citizen. Pay 4 creatures you control. Get +1/+1 on a turn. Pretty meh. Wargling. A little baby wolf. When this creature attacks while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, until end of turn, this creature gets +1/+0. And creatures you control gain trample. Interesting. Okay. Little Bear. 3/2 with flash. When it enters, untap another target creature you control. If that creature is a bear, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Alright. Nice little combat trick. Giant's Boulder for 1. When this artifact enters, scry 2. You can filter mana, or you can pay 7 and sack it to destroy target permanents. Alright, not bad. Thranduil. One of the many Thranduils, I think, in this set. 2/3 elf for 4. Other elves you control get +1/+1. Landfall whenever a land you control enters. Create an elf token. And then the adventure is a sorcery for 3, mill 4 cards. Then put up to 2 land cards from among them into your hand. Gandalf. 4/3 for 6. Avatar Wizard. Reach. When he enters, he deals 3 damage, divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. Then we got a full art or scene card here. Dreaded Bat Cloud. 4/2 bat for 5. Spell costs 3 less to cast if a creature died this turn, has flying and death touch. Iron Hills Blacksmith. 1/1 double strike. Enters, create an axe token, which I actually got in this pack. The Master of Lake Town. 3/2 death touch human advisor. When a player loses life, that player mills that many cards. When this guy dies, draw a card for each graveyard with 7 or more cards in it. Interesting. And then we got a foil Little Bear. And then Boros Tapland. Okay. It's the same thing, but it's putting 2 counters on a dwarf. Only at sorcery. I was like looking for my phone. It's like, idiot, you're scanning cards with it. That noise I heard was probably just my ice maker again. Whoops. That guy's a foil. No. Foil. Okay. No hidden gems in here. No, not really. Alright, we are chugging along here. This is pack number 6. So we're just about halfway through our play boosters. Another human soldier with an adventure token. Interesting. Owen the Brave. Crude Bent Blade. Enters target opponent, sacrifice a creature of their choice. Crude creature gets +2/+1, equip 2. Mirkwood Mediator, we've already seen that guy. Dwarven Provisioner, already seen that guy. Then we've seen. Harper, we've seen. Bjorn, we've seen. Nori, Teller of Tales, a 2/2 dwarf bard. Whenever they attack, target attacking creature gains first strike until end of turn. Ravenhill Flock, 1/2 bird flying. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And we got a saga here, the Mountain King's Return. First stage is Recruit. Second stage, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And stage 3, put a +1/+1 counter up to 1 target creature. It's pretty mediocre. Galleon, Elven King's Butler. 4/4 Elf Advisor for 4. When they attack, choose up to 1 other target creature you control. Its base power and toughness become equal to Galleon's power and toughness until end of turn. Might go in my elf deck. Elven Passage. Tap, pay 1 life, sack. Search your library for a basic land. Tapped unless you behold an elf. If you do, untap that land. Does this go in Dionysus? I don't think so, because it's a mono green, so it really doesn't do anything for me. Foil Vow to Erebor. And then a basic island. Nothing special in this pack, really. Got a ton of sleeves there. Come on. There you go. This is like the first pack of inner sleeves that I really had a problem with separating. Okay, so now is pack 6. Dwarf and Enduring Story token. Ravening Warg. Hold on. Let me finish my shake before it turns into pure liquid. A chunk of Oreo almost went down the wrong pipe. Alright. Ravening Warg. 2/2 Wolf with Death Touch. When they attack while you control creature with power 4 or greater, you gain 2 life. Mirkwood Mediator. Magnificent End. 5 cost instant. Costs 3 less to cast. If a target is a tapped creature, deal 5 damage to target creature. Bowside Wanderers. I think we saw this card already. Yeah. Smog's Fury. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains reach and first strike on a turn. Not a bad little combat trick. Harper. Long-bodied gray dog. 2/2 dog with flash and reach. When this creature enters, create a tapped treasure token. Interesting. Eagle's Rescue. 2 and Azorius hybrid. For enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanting creature gets +2/+2 and has flying. Pay 2 and 2 Azorius hybrid. Turn this card from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to target creature you control with power 1 or less. Activate only as sorcery. Interesting. I've seen this guy already. Snowslope Hunter Goblin 2/3. Sack another creature or artifact. Exile top card in your library. Play it until the end of your next turn. Activate only during your turn and excuse me, only once each turn. Head of the Hunt. 4/3 with flash. Wolf. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile instead. When you do, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Alright, not bad. A 10/7 bear for 7. Spell can't be countered as hexproof and haste. Does not have trample, unfortunately. But you can give it trample. Foil Elven King's Harper. And a full art mountain. A dragon. A stone boulder. The Bowside Wanderers once again. Another Hobbit hole. Another Owen. Another Ravening Warg. Plunder the Troll Shaws. For an instant, draw a card at the spell's cast from a graveyard. Draw 2 cards instead. Flashback for 4. About it. Erebor. Another Boulder. Another Thorn's Last Stand. Glowing the Mighty. 4/3 Dwarf. At the beginning of your first main phase, add 2 red mana. And then the Adventure Sorcery for 3. Easy pick, and this deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. Okay. I know a deck that could go in. Great Ugly Looking Goblin. What a fucking name. 4/4 Goblin Soldier. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has menace. It costs 6. And then the Sorcery Adventure for 2 and Mass Goblins 2. Thorin Oakenshield. 3/2 Dwarf with Trample and Storied. As long as you have an Endurance Story, artifacts and creatures you control have Ward 1. The Queen of Dale. 2/1 Human Noble for 2. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, you recruit. Okay. Not bad. That's apparently a hit. It's apparently a $22 card right now. Celebrate the Mountain King enchantment. When it enters, for each opponent, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. When this enchantment enters, recruit. Interesting. And then full art swamp. Yes, that's our big hit so far. Decent chance that goes in my AON deck. Still not 100% sold on the recruit mechanic, but that's definitely something I will test out. And this card I might consider putting in AON as well. This is the enchantment. When it enters, for each opponent, exile up to 1 non-land target permanent until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Generally, I don't like enchantments that exile a permanent until the enchantment leaves. But the fact that this hits 1 thing for each opponent and also recruits when it enters. Might be worth putting that in AON. Or at least considering. I'm going to break one of these inner sleeves trying to open it. Four more packs. Oh, one thing I'm certainly getting a lot of is human soldier tokens. Another one. The goblin army on the other side. Okay, Enchanted River's Grasp. 3-cost aura. When it enters, tap enchanted creature and remove all counters from it. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Ori, Keeper of Songs. 3/3 dwarf bard with storied. As long as you have an enduring story, Ori gets +1 and has vigilance. Quarrel. 2-cost instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. So, it's just a one-sided fight. The common Smaug, 5/5 flying. And then for 5 on the adventure side, deals 5 damage to target creature. That's the sorcery. Got this wolf again. This elf for the 19th time. Stir up some trouble. 1-cost sorcery has additional cost to cast a spell, sack an artifact or a creature, or pay 4. Destroy target creature. The Snorri that gives first strike again. Bard the Bowman, another one of these. Another one of these wabbits. These wascally little wabbits. Another Dwarven Mauler. And we got a Smaug Wicked Worm for 3 and Rakdos. You get a 5/5 flying dragon. When he enters, create X tapped treasure tokens where X is the number of artifacts your opponents control. So it's a dockside, essentially, but they're tapped. Whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure you spend to cast it, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Alright. A foil common Smaug, so this was the Smaug pack. And then a foil Flart Swamp. Apparently, I'm not 100% sure if this is right because I haven't looked into it myself. Apparently, according to a short that Maldhound put out, which, I mean, I trust Mald, so I don't think he's lying. But apparently there are a subset of cards, I think it's the Hobbit Eternal cards, that are only available in collector boosters until there's like a product that they put together for the Hobbit set called the Battle of the Five Armies, which sounds like it's gonna be like 5 precon decks. Now I don't know if they're full like 100 card commander precons or if they're more like welcome decks. But apparently there's going to be cards that are exclusive basically to those decks. But those aren't coming out until sometime in 2027 apparently. They got like delayed. Like almost 6 months or something from the rest of the set release. So for now, those subset of cards are only available in collector boosters, which is kind of annoying. But it is what it is. They still made like probably a fucking $1 trillion off this set, so they don't give a shit. A great fierce bee. 2/2 flying. Whenever one or more creatures die, scry 1. Yeah, I couldn't really find a lot of information on it. Let me see. Battle of Five Armies, MTG. So, supplemental Magic the Gathering box set designed for co-op play. Yeah, there's not a lot of information about it. Yeah, pretty much the only like things that are obvious about it is that there's gonna be enemy decks, and there's a goblin themed enemy deck and a wolf themed enemy deck. But based on the art that I'm looking at, you can probably command. So I guess there's probably just gonna be like 5 like precon co-op decks. One is dwarves, one is elves, one is humans, and then the enemy decks, wolves and goblins. So we'll see. We got the blue common Bilbo. Velvet Wing Butterflies, 2/2 flying. Or the adventure side, pay 2 for an instant, tap 1 or 2 target creatures. Guardian of the Halls, 2/2 elf for 2, has trample, pay 7 and put 3+1/+1 counters on this creature. Interesting. Ragged Short Spear. Equipment for 1 red. Whenever this equipment Equipment enters. You may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. Equipped for 3. Pretty meh. Short sword. Another boulder to throw. Gathering of Darkness. Or 3 and a black. Sorcery. Return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Amass Goblins 3. Another Eagle's Rescue. Snow Slope Hunter. We got one of these before, yeah. Bilbo's Gambit. 2 for an instant. Gift a treasure. Turn target spell to its owner's hand. Oh, this card. If the gift was promised, players can't cast spells this turn. I love this card. This is like a card called Orim's Chant. Basically, you can wait until, with Orim's Chant, you wait until a player's upkeep. Then you would pay 2 white. And for that turn, players can't cast spells and players cannot attack. So you just say, oh well, you can't do anything this turn except for activate abilities. That's pretty much all they can do. But yeah, this is similar. But yeah, you can pretty much trying to think, do you actually have to target a spell? Like, can you just cast this? Say you're gifting a treasure. Not necessarily return target spell to the player's hand. But the gift was promised, so players can't cast spells this turn. How does that work? Oh no, it has to have a legal target, because otherwise it fizzles. Right? Yeah, and it has to have a valid target. Okay, yeah. I mean, I still think this is a really good fun card. I'll have to see what deck this ends up going to, but I definitely will want to put that in a deck. Oh, that's not a bad price for that card either. It's $4.40. Another Rakdos Smaug. Part in Friendship. For 4 and a green enchantment, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. If its mana value is less than or equal to the number of lands you control, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Spell only triggers once each turn. So non-token creature you control dies. Reveal cards on the top. Reveal a creature card. Okay. That could be good. Last card was just a foil basic mountain. I mean, we love white counter spells. And by we, I mean me and Eli and probably no one else. Dwarf and Enduring Story token. Lake Torn Lookout. 1/1 human scout for 1. When this creature dies, recruit. Ordinary Bear. Just a plain old 4/5 for 4. Goblin Town Flunkies. 1/1 with haste for 2. When this creature enters a mass, goblins 1. We got the bee. The apothecary. Holy shit. Use your words. Stir up some trouble. We already saw that guy. Nori. Seen them. Harper, we've seen. Key to the side door. Artifact for 1. Pay 2 and tap a target creature can't be blocked this turn. Pay 1, tap, discard a legendary card with the same name as legendary permanent you control. Draw 2 cards. Okay, that's never gonna be played in Commander. Sick. Celebrate the Mountain King. Old Fat Spider. This is that old fat spider you're talking about. 6/7 spider with reach. Creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. When this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, draw a card. Roads go ever on. Search your library for up to 2 basic planes. Exile them, then shuffle, you gain 2 life. Then steps 2 and 3, put a card exiled with the saga into its owner's hand. Oh, it goes in the hand, doesn't even go onto the field. Whenever you attack this turn for the 4th stage, target creature you control gains +1/+1 until end of turn for each planes you control. This would have been a lot better if the planes went onto the battlefield and not in your hand. But if they went into the battlefield, that might be a little bit too strong. So, Uneasy Partings, foil, and then a basic swamp. Sagas are rare, yes it is. Am I gonna have to crack open one more inner sleeve pack? I am. For the last pack. I'm just gonna leave that token there. Alright, last pack. Got another human soldier token with an adventure on the other side. Another magnificent end. Another bow side wanders. Smaug's Fury. Another common golem. Plunder the Troll Shares. Another Alban King's Harper. Another Beorn. Another Nori. Dreaded Bat Cloud. This is just a normal version of that borderless full art one that we got earlier. Arnwell's Blacksmith. Oh, that's I don't know, showcase, I guess. Showcase. Thranduil. Uncommon. We already have this card, but obviously not in this art. Is that the right version? It's still... Yeah, it's not worth much. I didn't think it would be. Part in Friendship. Another one of those. And Beorn's Hospitality. For 2, you get an enchantment with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, but a +1/+1 encounter on target creature you control. So basically Bristly Bill. Pay 5 and 2 green. This enchantment becomes a bear creature in addition to its other creature types, to its other types, and gains. This creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. Interesting. And then our last card is a Mirkwood. It's one of the lands that you can sack as a sorcery. Puts 2 counters on. This one has multiple different targets. On target bear, spider, or wolf you control. Alright. Well. Got some alright cards. Got some humans and some other cards that I'll definitely be using. Let me sleeve the cards I'm gonna sleeve. And then from there, I haven't decided what I want to do. So I'm going to contemplate while I'm sleeving these cards. Yeah, I think that's all the Hobbit cards I'm gonna get. Until the Battle of the Five Armies comes out. Unless I like stumble upon like a collector booster in like a store somewhere, I might pick up like one or two if I see them. What's the next set after Hobbit? Is it um is Reality Fracture next? I feel like there's one other set in between this and Reality Fracture. I'm just spacing on it. No, I think it's Star Trek's not till next year. Pretty sure. Or Star Trek might be after Reality Fracture. Hobbit. Yeah, it's Hobbit, Reality Fracture, and then Star Trek. Okay. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to Reality Fracture. I'm trying to get the Secret Layer bundle and a collector booster box for Reality Fracture, but I have not been successful in that yet. But I'm doing my darndest to check everything. But those things have been sold out forever, everywhere. Yeah, I'm sure eventually I'll somehow procure them. I just love the idea of them doing like a multiverse color bending version of like their own IP. It's such a cool idea. I think they can do a lot with. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. And also like the art treatments that they've shown so far look sick as hell. So that's why I want a collector booster and the Secret Layer bundle thing. Let me see what is going on here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna call it there. I'm not gonna go into any games tonight. That was fun. Got to open some Hobbit stuff. Didn't get too many good hits, but that's the nature of cards. That's the nature of Magic. But it's so fun seeing all the cards, seeing all the cool things that we can do with those cards. Some of those cards are definitely going into some of my decks. So yeah. Thanks for coming by, Lizzie, and anyone else. I was here. I will be live again on Thursday. Probably continuing God of War. We beat the story last time. Last stream. So now we're going around finishing doing all the exploration and doing everything to get 100%. There's still a lot to do in that game. Because I basically didn't do any of the side stuff. I basically just blasted through the story since I've actually already played and 100% in the game on PlayStation. But now I'm doing it on PC before I play Ragnarok. And presumably go for 100% on Ragnarok. Yeah, so that'll probably be Thursday, unless something comes up, but I don't foresee anything coming up. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed. If you're watching the VOD, I hope you enjoy that. Appreciate you, and I will see you next time.